Thank you. Right.
Thank you very much.
In 2007, there was this guy from Scotland. He was trying to make the world's strongest beer. Now, if you know anything about beer, you know that beer should be around 8, maybe maximum 9%, and if you're from Belgium, maybe 10%. But James had a different idea. He said, I'm going to make the world's strongest beer, and I'm going to sell it so good, nobody wants anything else ever again. He was from Scotland, and in Scotland, which is part of the United Kingdom, is controlled by a group called Portman Group, which dictates everything about alcohol in UK. They are a mafia controlled by 2 or 3 people. When James wanted to make this beer, he got death threats. He got grenades delivered at his home. He got bullets sent to his home. He was threatened everywhere he went, but he still kept pushing. And he pushed this message that he's going to make 55% strong beer through LinkedIn. He used LinkedIn as his tool to communicate. And he's now known to be the most controversial CEO in UK because he does absolutely wild things. In PR, if your subject is boring, then be the story yourself. And James is being the story himself. Now, in 2007, when Brewdog started, now it is the biggest independent brewery and beer company in UK, making profit above any other beer company in UK, and is being absolutely explosive. And James is the only marketing they do. He uses pretty much LinkedIn as a power of his voice. This lady here can change the way you communicate your products through your platforms. No matter how cool your product is, no matter how amazing the technology is, if no one knows about it, it will die. Veronica, LinkedIn is pretty powerful. How big of numbers are we talking about here?
I love the story, by the way. Thank you for sharing. It's very empowering. Now I feel I can establish my own beer company. But yeah, we recently celebrated 1 billion users on LinkedIn. It's quite a milestone, right? 1 billion users. But when it comes to how fast we are growing, so every 2 seconds we have new member joining our platform. That's quite massive, but let's check the room. Who is today present on LinkedIn?
Who's not or is?
Who is? Let's start it with that. Okay, majority. Who is not?
There is that person over there.
Okay, we will change your mind after the presentation today. But as you can see, I guess it's already proving our point that being present on LinkedIn, it's a valid one. When it comes to our topic itself, and speaking of a C-level of founders present on LinkedIn, basically over 8 million users at a C-level, right? So you have quite a community that is not accessible by any other channel of a C-level. When it comes to decision makers, we have around 68 million of the decision makers other than the C-level.
How much?
So, 68 million.
Wow.
Across the platform. We are present in 200 countries, and that would be 27 languages. So it is a powerful one. Hard to compare with anything else when it comes to business. And I guess it's also relevant to Baltics. I've been checking some statistics for Baltics as well, and it's around 1 million users across the Baltic states, and it's growing rapidly. So keep on signing up for the person who is not present yet.
Now, with AI, I'm sure whoever's on LinkedIn, you're going to see this absolute bullshit posts from people posting with emojis and rockets and dear LinkedIn network, I have some kind of update crap like that. You see this a lot in LinkedIn. Now, how can we be effective with LinkedIn and not come across like we are AI copying, pasting there? Like, how can we use it as a good tool?
Okay, so first of all, we do use AI. Obviously, there is new feature using AI, and we do love it. I'm a biggest fan, right? But do we need to be careful? Yes. So we need to be very authentic, as on any social media platform. Authenticity, similar to our previous topic, community, it's very transparent kind of thing, right? So once you create a post with an AI and you are not really checking in and it's just like another post that sounds very similar, no, your authenticity is dropping massively. Therefore, you need to be a person that is really thinking of, okay, what is the message I want to pass, who I am as a leader, who I am as a founder, and then therefore also what is the company I want to belong to and I want to co-create. So I would say being yourself. I know it's kind of a buzzword today, that everyone wants to be themselves, but it's really a checkpoint when it comes to the social media.
And do you, for example, when you're on, obviously LinkedIn has immense power in recruitment. You are, I believe, maybe I'm wrong, but are you the biggest recruitment platform in the world?
Yeah, we are.
So if you are a startup, would you start recruiting from there, and would you just post? Like, walk me through like the first 3 steps of being a startup and recruiting LinkedIn.
Yeah, I would say like our research proved that the most important for today employees are actually projects that they're working on. Mm-hmm. So first of all, when I would be in startup founders, I would think of an idea why someone's supposed to join me and on what kind of projects they would work, because that's something that attracts people. Salary-wise, no, let's be honest, more or less all companies are equal those days. It's like, yes, it's going rocket sky, but it's the same. So it's really about the idea and the vision. And how we are passing this vision is actually through our thoughtful leadership, right? So when the founder is someone that will speak up and can kind of communicate their vision and be authentic, then they are getting the best talent on the market that wants to join and be power of this company as well. So I would say that would be the first one.
So you would say like a CEO, the founder of a startup, would become like the thought leader of their own topic.
Definitely.
In
and that is perhaps my bosses would kill me to say that, but you can do it organically, right? So you don't need to necessarily invest even in the platform. It's not like any dollar spend. It's something that can grow organically if you really are able to showcase your projects that we will work on and then showcase the leadership, because people want to join all projects that are interesting or the leaders that are empowering them.
So, and this is a good point. I have a friend of mine, you should definitely check her out. Her name is Lubomila Jordanova. She is the CEO of Plan A. It was a very boring subject that she was tackling about 5-6 years ago. And they kept posting through LinkedIn in their company pages, but it didn't really catch on. So what they did was switch it a little bit around. She started posting as herself, and she used Plan A's subject matter in her own thinking. So she was very authentic, challenging people on topics, going straight at the CEOs. Like you said, there's so many CEOs on LinkedIn, and half of them maybe are active in there, maybe even more. You can prove me wrong. But she started building that little bit her own, like a clout in there. And now she has over 120,000 followers. She's managed to raise millions and millions of euros through LinkedIn. And it's just really fantastic how that platform has helped people like that. Do you have other stories of maybe founders that have used it effectively? And where would you start right now? Like, I know you said about being authentic, but is there something else that you can give us?
Obviously, there's a lot of stories of successful startups and people that are really active on the platform. I guess when I went through the list of the most active startups recently, I came across the Blink list. That it's I think that got around like 38 million founding last year, 2023. And their co-CEO, Sebastian Klein, he's very active on the platform. We went going through his profile, and he spotted actually all the impression and clicks and everything that you can actually track online, how it impacted the brand and the visibility. And that's a really massive change. So basically, if you see whenever he's posting something, how much into impacting the brand and how much of the impression they would get, it's around 74 clicks more during the time, like 30 minutes after he's posting and so on. So it's growing like massively, right? And the first day they are getting around 30, I think 30K more clicks if he's posting something directly on their website, right? So it shows how powerful his words are on the platform. And whenever he's posting something, people are obviously clicking on the website, and therefore they know what they are doing, what is the company about. So that's first. And second, I guess like it's also important that for the potential investors, right, when they're evaluating the startups, obviously one of the points is like, okay, who is the founder? Or founders, for that matter. And how we know that they are good people. Like, okay, they may be successful in the past, that's great, but if not, then what? So we want to check if they really know what they are doing, right? And if they are not really present on LinkedIn or any other social platforms that they can kind of prove that they have an idea, they are successful, and so on, they are losing their visibility in the eyes of investors as well. So that's another point why being a person that is more active, let's say, right? It's very important, but also not that we are active as such, but how we are active. So what we are doing, about what we are posting. If, for that matter, we are founders of some, I don't know, security startup, right? Are we really know what is the security? Like, how many articles did you write about security? How many articles did you, I don't know, comment about security? What have you done about this topic? All those little things, they've been checked before really investors are going into the, into the mode of like, should we even consider that or not?
When you say commenting, this is a big thing for LinkedIn's algorithm, right? Like, because I noticed that every time people comment, you raise their profiles more in the... Can you talk a little bit about the algorithm? Because it's really interesting, if you are able to do that. Like.
Sure. So obviously, like, everyone are asking how to hack the system. I don't have a magic wand. No. It's actually very hard to hack the system as such, because the algorithm would change like every now and then. So I would not try to hack the system. What I would try to do is to be really consistent. The way you post things, you comment on things. And there are small things like, I don't know how many of you would have a creating mode on your LinkedIn, right?
Creative mode?
Yeah, that you are a curator. If you don't, please do that. But then you can create certain posts and your algorithm is already getting up. So that would be one thing. Then how often would you post the articles, right? Articles are a bit longer. They are very important in the sense of like the community that you belong to. It needs to be relevant. They need to get certain traction, comments and clicks and views as well. But then your posts are also important, right? So what we do advise for the founders and C-level is to create at least 6 months of a calendar, which sounds like a lot, I know. But once you start to do it, it's much easier. And then come up with articles that are relevant to your business, that maybe would be about the trends, and that can be about like different things that are happening within the same industry, and come up with the idea far ahead, because it's very hard to create an article from 1 hour to another, right? Almost impossible for busy people as founders and C-level. But then the post itself, it's supposed to be very snappy, very short and catchy. So it's not something that you should spend more time. It's like to the point, let's say. The interesting thing is that the most successful people on LinkedIn, they are very good with mixing and business life. So to talk about trends, to talk about this specific topic, to positioning themselves as a subject matter expert, but at the same time, mix it with a private life, for example, right? So our CEO of Microsoft, he's brilliant in that. His story about his father gathered one of the biggest amount of views and clicks in the history of LinkedIn. And that's very personal, right? And some people are like, oh, I don't like LinkedIn anymore because it's become more and more like, kind of Facebook style or TikTok or whatever. But actually, people love it. People love the personal touch. And whenever someone wants to talk with you, they see you as a founder, a subject matter expert, and so on, but also as a human being. And they would love to know if you're a family person, or if you like to, I don't know, climb, and that's your challenge, or you would love to, I don't know, run marathons, right? That's something that make us more of a humans, and therefore it's a pleasure to make a business with such person and join them for the business as well.
So that is actually a really interesting point, because there's so much happening in the world right now. I mean, just Israel just went on at Iran right just today, this morning.
Yeah.
There's so many things happening. We know it. Everyone knows it. It is sometimes a big overwhelming amount of information in LinkedIn. And I use it every day, messaging, and there's a lot of good stuff in there. But you're saying that you should be authentic, you should put personal touch into it, you should put videos and photos and write articles. How do you manage all this? This is a lot of time it takes. Why would you prioritize? Like, where would you start? Like, if you had a startup in Latvia today, like if you said, like, do one thing today from TechChill, like, what would be the thing that works for you in LinkedIn?
Yeah, post. That's the quick one.
Post.
Make us just a quick photo on the print screen or something, and just post. Add your comment. So if you have a reposting or posting something, and it's a very quick one because you are running out of time, it's a valid point if you just post something and add your thought, which can be like one sentence. And by the way, free hashtag, it's something that works the best, and add some of your colleagues, then you are winning already, because some other colleague may not do that, so you are ahead. And obviously, it's a big project, so in most of the startup, you wouldn't have someone that is looking after PR, marketing, and helping with, see presence on the market. But small step strategy works as well, right? So if you would start today with just making sure that your profile is full, that you have picture, because funny enough, a good picture can increase your view on your profile by 24%. So it's a small change, yet a big impact. And make sure that your profile is fully filled, and all the details are there about you and your company. And very important, you start to comment on other people's posts. That's very powerful. And for that matter, I believe if you start to post as a C-level or founder, people from your team will start to post as well. So it's proved by our research that the moment that C-suites start to be more active on the social media, up to the 30% of the company is more active on the social media as well. So it's like snowball effect pretty much, right? You are starting on the top, and then everyone are feeling like more entitled and empowered to do the same, and basically to share more about your company. And that's, again, a free thing, very organic kind of growth of the visibility of your company.
And it's free. I mean, this is the craziest part. So
yeah.
I was organizing an event for a Formula 1 driver, Nico Rosberg, like 4 or 5 years ago. And we realized before the event was starting, we were like, we got to sell 16,000 tickets. Nico, you're pretty famous. Why don't you just open your LinkedIn account? He was like, wait, I don't have LinkedIn? And he went and opened a LinkedIn account, and within like 30 minutes he posted, and he had first like 500 people, and then end of the day he had 10,000 people. End of the next week he had 400,000. Like, it was just insane how much people were reacting to him, being close to people, posting stuff, videos of the event, like giving like really good community vibes in there. So it is immensely important. Now you said something interesting about the profile.
Yeah.
Now, before I came here, I checked some of people's profiles. There are some randomly wild photos people have. You have really good cameras these days. Please don't take photos in the toilet and post it on LinkedIn. Just don't do that crap.
I didn't put it.
Just use your freaking camera phone, this part, the back one, put it on portrait mode, and take a proper photo of yourself, smile, put it on LinkedIn. Now, what else should be in your profile? Like, what is the let's go through it really quickly. Like, what is the checklist?
Yeah, so as I mentioned before, it would be a picture. The profile that will have the highest visibility is the one that is fully filled. So all the boxes are filled in. And then the one that you have extra project, if you do some voluntary work or some extra project, that's very important as well.
Why is that important?
We are American company. We love everything that is like, big impact and so on. So actually the part with when you are like volunteer or something, it counts like a lot.
Aha, okay. So voluntary work has to be put.
Or the project, like for example, project for, I don't know, empowering women. Those are the one I'm involved, so that's an example. But it can be something about, you know, animals or kids or whatever. But as I mentioned, the personal touch is important. So it's not only you as in like you are a person that is running the company or is employee or whomever you are, but it's also you as a person, right? As a I don't know, father, husband, or partner, whomever you are. But it's important one. So that will be a piece. And then I would say the creator mode, it's very important to switch on. So highly recommend to do for everyone. And one important thing is also to comment on your colleagues. And by the way, that's very powerful. Like I remember it happens only once in my career that our COO, Dan Shapiro, big guy out from States, he commented on my post. Whoa. And I felt like, oh my God, God is touching me now. Like, you know, for him, like obviously some PR lady probably did that, but it felt amazing. I felt like empowered. I was working crazy hours and I was able to do everything because he commented on my post.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah, exactly. So, you know, it's very powerful, actually. If you will see, like, okay, someone is starting to commenting on my post, they are adding something, I may come across as someone that has, you know, ideas to share, or I have a big knowledge to share, and someone is starting to notice me, yeah, then I will do it more and more of it, right?
One of the, I close up with this quick story about Bill Gates. Apparently, the rumor goes, there was a guy from Finland or Sweden, he was writing a book about leadership, and he posted it in Finnish or Swedish in LinkedIn. For some reason, Bill Gates saw it, commented on it. That book went on to sell thousands and thousands. And it's like one of the best sellers in the Nordics. And Bill Gates actually bought the book, and he just made a post about it on LinkedIn. So things can happen on LinkedIn. Definitely.
Actually, more often than we can imagine.
All right. With that, we're saying thank you very much. Have a good night.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me.